Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. If you hear something in the background, it's my heater down here. My feet are cold and I've got my heater on, so ignore that. I've always wanted to do one of these videos, but I don't really have much of a means of a list of mean comments that I can react to or make fun of or review or whatever. But I wanted to do a little something where I could talk about some of the criticisms I've had in the last couple months, because I think that everybody right now during this virus is getting kind of bored and ornery, and we're all just giving each other unsolicited advice. And some of the stuff I understand and I do take into account, and some of it I believe is like pretty rude, or maybe people think they're joking with me on certain things, but what they're saying actually upsets me. And I wanted to go through and explain some of this stuff, and we can have a little discussion about what people say to me that makes me uncomfortable. And y'all can, in the comments, if you want to discuss maybe things that people say to you sometimes that make you uncomfortable, even though it wouldn't normally make somebody uncomfortable, if that makes sense. But before I get into talking about those things, I just wanted to update y'all on a few things first. So I know I've been slow on posting videos. I've been very unmotivated with this whole virus thing. It's like all the things I had planned, of course, and I know I'm not the only one. Let me go ahead and say that, because I know that a lot of you guys are probably gonna think like, she's so selfish, she thinks she's the only one. No, I don't. But just talking from my perspective, I've been struggling a lot with motivation. I've been struggling a lot with having to cancel things and then not having anything to look forward to make me want to work for stuff, if that makes sense. Yes, I've been doing live streams for tips, which again makes people angry. We'll talk about that in a second. So basically, I've been having a hard time getting myself to want to edit videos, but I am in the middle of finishing up the February vlog from Nashville, and when I finish that, I will post it. And then the March one after that, and the March one's got all the tornado stuff in it, and it was the last trip I made before the quarantine started. And then I've, of course, got to finish filming Living Reflection. And if you've seen on my social medias where I've been posting clips of what I've got filmed already, you'll kind of get and understand what I'm talking about. I also was on the wrong Paxil that wasn't working anymore. It was an extended release Paxil, and it had me anxious again when I haven't been anxious because of the Paxil. So I couldn't go to my doctor right now because of all the stuff that's going on, but we rescheduled that appointment, and she went ahead and the nurse practitioner, I asked her if she could put me back on the kind I was on before, and she did, and I've been feeling much more calm and focused and just, you know, not anxious anymore, so that's good. Sometimes the social anxiety though peeks through, and I don't want to answer people's messages, so but yes, the final thing is that I did get contacted by a label about a possible artist developmental deal, but I haven't been pitched to the label yet. This is just the A&R person, and I'm going to get back around to that in a minute, because some people have said some things about that kind of get to me, and I know that it might not be the correct choice for me, but we'll get to that in a second. So the first thing I am going to talk about is the label thing. So basically, I'm not allowed to talk about what label it is. I'm not allowed to talk about, you know, what they've offered me exactly. Like, they haven't really offered me anything, so I guess it doesn't matter. But this is an actual label. I went to my contractor Al's brother, and he told me what he thought about them, and he told me he knew them and that he's friends with some of them, and that it's a legit offering, but we won't know until if he pitches me and the label likes me, then we'd have to understand at that point, we'd have to read through the paperwork and see if it was something that would just take my money or something that would enhance my career. So there's that. But a lot of people, which again, all of this is brought on me because all these things are my fault and why people said the things that they did. So I shouldn't have put that out there. I guess I was just excited. I was having a humble brag moment, if that makes sense. I just wanted to read some of the comments on the post that kind of made me wonder. There we go, I found it. Okay, so on my post, I said, just had a phone call with a label possibly wanting to pitch me for an artist development deal. True. I don't want to talk about the details and get myself in trouble. True. But the guy was nice, he spoke highly of me, and I'm actually terrified. And then I go on to explain, you know, you want these things, then when they come to you, you don't want to believe that they could be something good, at least in my experience, because I've had a lot of moments in life where I've looked forward to something and just thought it was the end-all be-all, and then it let me down. So I think my brain has been rewired now to think that everything's not going to work out, and then when something does, it'll be a huge surprise for me. But yeah, a lot of people were positive, and I gotta say thank you for the positive comments, the congratulations and stuff. One person said, congratulations if this is a reputable, whatever you want to call it, label and A&R team. Supposedly they are, but like I said, I'm not gonna worry too much about it until they start sending me stuff that, you know. And then somebody else says, not trying to rain on your parade, but proceed with caution. A lot of people are saying, you know, there's some shady people, it's probably not real. Tread carefully, nasty town. Read the small print, buyer beware. People have been messaging me, telling me, you know, please be careful because you know, they're probably just trying to scam you. And then somebody was like, since people don't buy recorded music anymore, labels are kind of obsolete. Okay, John. Little known fact behind that. Yes, you can make it in music now without having a record label if you happen to get famous online. But they're not obsolete because people don't buy physical copies as much anymore. They're more obsolete because people have their own ways of getting music out there. But record labels can help you. They can also scam you, but they can also help you in many different ways when it comes to promotion, radio airplay, and a lot of times you can't get proper radio airplay unless you are signed by a reputable label that will pitch you to these radio stations, because honestly, that's how it works. You can't just go to the radio station and say, here's my song, play it. I mean, I can locally, but that doesn't really matter. It's cool, but anyway, what else? What other stuff we got here? Okay, a lot of people were really nice. I haven't even read some of the messages I got that were like, send me the name of the place. And I was like, I'm not getting everybody involved in this because I do not want to get in trouble. A. B. Some people are just kind of making me feel like, of course, it's hopeless. Which I've thought that from day one. I was like, it's probably hopeless. But if you keep discouraging me to not aim for it, then then what am I gonna do? Just not try, not have the meetings with the people and find out the information that I need to do? So anyway, so let's move on to the next one. Number 2 of the criticism and comments that I've gotten is about live streaming. So back in February, and I mean absolutely no anger toward these people. I'm gonna put on some of my Shane Dawson lip gloss. This is Ryland. Got distracted and I thought, oh, my lips just don't look perky. The only thing I hate about this is it tastes like root beer. I know Shane loves root beer and that's why, but I hate root beer. But I'm dealing with it. Just kind of reminds me of licorice. Back in February, I was going to an open jam thing, and I had about 3 or 4 people come up to me that like the second to last time, and they're like, I don't think it's smart for you to live stream all your shows. You shouldn't be live streaming all your shows because then nobody's gonna want to come to your shows. And I was like, well, I agree to disagree because the quality is not always amazing on the live streams, and I think it's great to reach more people than the people that can attend. If somebody's sick, if someone's just not feeling up to it, if they just couldn't come for some reason, then, you know, they've got a means to watch and listen to me. Especially if they're on the road, they can plug it in and listen and everything. I've had a lot of people tell me they do that. What's funny is that the live streaming really has kind of helped my business for many, many years. And I've had those people telling me, don't do it anymore, and if you do, then only live stream for like a few minutes. But then, ironically enough, look at what we have to do now because of this virus. We have to live stream or we don't have any shows. And I was like, do you see what I'm talking about now? Like, that's kind of the future. It's part of the future. I don't think that that's all we're gonna do from now on, surely to God, because I love live shows. Live shows are my lifeblood. They are what makes me so very happy, is to play a live show, especially with a band, move around the stage and have a good time. But I like to live stream. I will continue to live stream as much as I want to, depending on the venue's rules and the setup and the sound and everything. If I feel like it, I'll do it. And nobody telling me, just random people telling me not to do it, isn't going to make me change my ways. I don't like to go with the grain, so sorry. But I understand both sides, and I told them that. I said I get both sides of it, but I think it helps more than deters, but whatever. The next thing. Number 3. This one's been getting a lot of attention. Not answering people's messages. So, especially right now during the virus, I've gotten a lot of Facebook messages, Instagram messages, and I used to be very, very keen on answering every single message, every single text, everything. I would always answer everything that I got. I've always been that way since like MySpace, MSN Messenger, back in like 05. I was so in love with talking through the internet because I have social anxiety disorder, and it's much easier to talk to somebody without having to look them in the eye, okay? Although I love personal connection, it also drains me. So it was fun to talk to people online. But now I receive so many messages that it drains me to sit and answer them all. So I will answer the venue's messages. I'll answer, anybody that's helped me out with something, or I'm helping them out with something or whatever. Sometimes I let friends' messages go way, way down in the messages and I forget to answer them, and I feel really bad about that. But what peeves me the most is when I don't answer somebody, and instead of them coming back and being like, hey, I just wanted to remind you that I had said this, are you okay? Like this one guy, which this has happened with some other people too, but this is the most recent example. This one guy sends me a message, and this was like months ago, and he was like, we should work together on something. And I was like, okay, I'm really busy with trying to get my house together right now and everything, but we can get to that point where we collaborate at some point, maybe. And then I posted something, I don't remember what it was, and then he commented on it and said, I keep trying to tell you, you could record with me. And I'm like, okay. So then I go to my messages, and he sent me a message that says, what's funny? You reach out to people online like you want to connect with them, and then when I try to send you a message, you won't answer me. He goes, it's kind of weird, not gonna lie. And it's just in that little sentence of it's kind of weird, I wanted to come back to him and be like, I have social anxiety disorder. I don't always feel like talking to people. I don't always feel like connecting with people. I try, but I get drained at a certain point. But I didn't, I just blocked him. And then he went over onto my fan page, and he said, don't assume that everybody is an asshole. How could you have blocked me? And I was like, okay, fun. But yeah, if I don't answer your messages and it's something important, just send me another message a few days later and remind me. I don't know what else to say, because sometimes I just get lost in the moment. And sometimes I just get lost in the moment of not wanting to use Facebook. Okay, number 4. So I put online about my hairstylist closing up her business due to the virus right now, and decided to close up for good and sell the building and sell all their equipment. And we don't know exactly why, if it's just because of the virus or if it's another reason. I'm assuming it might be another reason. I don't know. But I put online that I was really sad, and I can see why it came across as me being whiny. Like, oh my God, my hairstylist is closing. I can't get my hair done. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. No, actually, no. I've been growing my hair out for like 5-6 years now. And if I get some split ends, I'm not gonna die, okay? My hair doesn't have to be colored. I can brush it, I can style it. I don't have to get my hair cut at a specific time of every couple months or whatever it is. I really don't care. The reason I put that status on there was because it was really sad. We made friendships with these people that owned the place and worked at the place, and we Mom and I really liked how she did her hair, and it was just a place that, you know, they felt like family, if that makes sense. And just to see them go down during this virus, it sucks. Like, it's just sad. I meant for that to sound like, oh, I'm really sad that they closed down because of the virus, but instead people are commenting on it going, boo-hoo, why don't you find another one? This is not a big deal. Like, why are you crying? Not crying. I'm not crying. I was just saying it's sad to see a homegrown business shut down due to what's going on in the world right now, because technically, I am homegrown business myself, and a lot of the businesses in Blue Ridge are, and it's just really sad to see some of them go because of this. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Okay, the next one. The next one is something that I could totally avoid just by not mentioning it online, but I'm an idiot and I did. I thanked my first really good live stream that I had, that I made probably a little more than base pay for the venue that I would have been playing at had this virus not been happening. But a live stream made my pay, and I said, thank y'all, that's the best live stream we've done so far, and thank you all for tipping. And I put the freaking number amount like an idiot, but I was just happy and I wanted to thank everybody. And maybe, yeah, it was maybe a little bit of bragging on my part, and I'm sorry about that, but I just really wanted to put it out there that I was really happy with everybody and how it was a gathering of people and we were enjoying it all at the same time. But this one girl, God love her, had commented on one of my other statuses because I had said that, you know, my bank account was down to almost nothing. And when I say almost nothing, I'm talking about, like, I have my savings. All this money right here that I've made from live streaming is going to go into my savings. And if I need some of it because I haven't got my unemployment yet, then yeah, I will take some out. But that's not my goal. My goal is to save it and have this be money that I would have made had I got to actually work. But anyway, this girl went on a rant about how bad her life was. She, quote, I'm not saying her life's bad, but just all the things going on in her life. And she's like, well, at least you made $180 on your live stream the other day. I can't even, you know, get out of bed to go play and sing, and I don't play an instrument, so I can't be a singer, so I can't do any kind of work. And I'm just like, I love you to death, but it's not an excuse. She was being gay as an excuse, which is no excuse anymore for anything, because the entertainment industry welcomes all of y'all with open arms. And also, she mentioned how she couldn't play an instrument, so she couldn't play out, which is not true. If you want to play out, you can get an accompanist, oh my God, get somebody that plays piano or guitar and get them to play with you. Or you can learn 3 chords on the guitar and use the capo like I did. If you're really dedicated to music, you can make it work, but you gotta work for it. It doesn't just come to you. And I used to think it would come to me too, but it didn't. I had to make my own path and really put myself out there, and now it's to a point where it's a business and I'm getting somewhere. So I know that was a case of, like, being a little bit envious and kind of getting mad at me because I made a little bit in tips online while her life is not in the best spot right now. I've been in bad spots in my life before. Everybody has. And if they haven't already, they will. And you get through it, you know? It took me a long time to really love doing music again after my dad passed away, because he was a musician and he was part of the reason why I became a musician in the first place. And it rocked Mom and I's world. And we didn't get to go to as many competitions or play as many shows or anything because Mom had to become my dad too. And then we had to take care of my grandparents as well. So it just wasn't a lot of opportunities to perform anymore until I grew up and could start doing stuff for myself. It's okay. To this girl, just know everything's gonna be okay. Just find out where you have the physical and the mental abilities to put forth your best effort, and find something you're passionate about and find a way to do it, and just start somewhere. All you can do is try things. Oh, here's one that really freaking gets to me, okay? last year, I was 82 pounds at this time. And I was going through a lot with my anxiety. I was not currently taking any anxiety medication like I have in the past. I was really nervous about a lot of things. I had had some breakups that really broke my heart. It didn't break me. I had to have another surgery that was something that was really bothering me, something that I thought they'd fixed but they hadn't fixed yet. And I don't know, I was just really down and out, and I couldn't eat. I just literally could not eat. I always had a nervous stomach, was always upset, and every time I went to eat, I could only eat a couple bites, and then I felt like I needed to vomit. So when I went to the doctor that last time before my surgery, she was just like, you really need to gain weight. What do you want to do? Do you want a pill that makes you gain weight, or do you want a pill for your anxiety that will help you eat? I was like, I want the anxiety pill. And the Paxil's done wonders for me. And I went from people telling me that I looked like I was about to die and that I had cancer. I didn't even notice this until now. And I look back and I go, yeah, I looked really skinny. But I went from there to now weighing about 113, 114, give or take. And I am at a healthy weight now for a 26, almost 27-year-old, 5'1" chick. And I feel a lot better. And I have more energy at times, and I don't feel like I'm constantly gonna pass out every time I stand up. So it's great. But now the comments. The comments have made their turn. I got one on it was my fan page, and I can't remember what it said. I think I blocked this guy. But he had said something about, uh-oh, you need to slow down. Looks like you're gaining weight. Yes, I am, sir. Yes, I am gaining weight, thank you, because I was unhealthy. And then recently, I've had somebody say, be careful how many Little Debbies you eat, or sooner or later you will be chubby. Thank you. Let's have a discussion about this. I was very insecure about being underweight, and I'm finally to a healthy weight. And I'm already having a little bit of body dysmorphia in my head, because I look in the mirror and I see skin and fat in places that I hadn't seen there in a long time. I've got a little stomach flub going on, and I've got my double chin back. But like, to other people, I probably just look normal, but to me, it's like it happened so fast. It happened in like 6 months, and now that it's almost been a year, I just tried on all my spring clothes, and I had to get rid of like 70 pieces of my wardrobe that didn't fit anymore. And when that happens, it starts to get in my brain and making me think that I am too big, or I'm not fit enough, or whatever. So really, if anybody has the urge to say something about my weight and it not be like a compliment, just please don't say it. I mean, if you do, I guess you can. I can't stop you, but it does not help my mentality at all. It really does not. I don't want to make y'all walk on eggshells, but comments about me gaining weight or losing weight or looking fat or whatever, very unnecessary. I don't like them, and they upset me a lot. Okay, we still got more going on. To the sound guy at a bar in Nashville. This is number 7. He went off on one of my posts about how people are disliking my YouTube channel, which is also another thing in itself. That was going to be number 10 or 11 or whatever. But let's just do them both at one time. So the same 3 people, I assume, dislike my videos on YouTube within, I don't know, 30 minutes of me posting them every single time. I have suspicion of who this person might be that's doing this, but I have no proof. So whatever, not gonna say who I think it is. But I put online on my Facebook, I said, you know, I get really irritated when these people clearly just dislike my videos on purpose because they're trying to get to me or something. And this guy comments on that status, and he's just like, oh, well, that's mean, although I almost disliked one of your videos when I first saw it on YouTube because it was like a disgrace. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you did a cover at Eddie's attic, and that is unspoken of, unheard of. And we got into this argument, and I was like, you only watched the one video. I did a whole show there. I did 90% original material and threw in a couple covers because that's what a lot of people do at their shows, especially when they're not well known. I didn't think it was a problem. It's not like I went and auditioned for the songwriter night thing and did a cover song. So I don't know, we got into this big argument about it. And then I said something in my Insta story, again, brought it on myself. I said something on my Insta story that transferred over to my Facebook story as well. And it said, like, I've had a lot of sound guys butt heads with me and I'm getting kind of tired of it. And he commented on it and he goes, wow, really? I'm like, yes, really. I shouldn't have said it in my Instagram story, but there's no reason for him to go off on me and be that rude about saying that, you know? Like, he's just like being really rude about me doing a cover song at Eddie's Attic. Thank you. You know, it's whatever. One of my ex-drummers, and we've worked this out, so I don't want to stir up drama, but I just want to explain it. It did upset me for a little bit. I had not yet gone back on my good pills, so I was kind of in this state where I was really sad, and this just kind of threw me over the top. One of my old drummers, extremely talented. She is classically trained. She's going to school up near Nashville to get her doctorate in percussion. And I mean, I just always thought she was a super talented chick, and I always liked playing with her. There was a little drama we had to deal with when it came down to me dating one of her best friends and breaking up and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, she helped me with that and she let me talk to her about it. And I thought we were okay, but apparently she got mad at me, probably rightfully so, last March when we played a show up in Murphy, and I was 82 pounds, very underweight, and very sick. My immune system was absolute shit. It was just bad. And I was so sick, and I had been sick all February, and it kept going away and coming back. I'd go get shots. It'd come back, more shots, it'd come back, cough syrup, Benadryl. It was just god awful. My throat was so swollen and I should have canceled the show. If I could go back, I would have canceled the show. But I didn't, because this was the first full band show and I really was so excited about it. We hadn't played a full band show since last, I don't know, October or something, and I was just so excited for it. So we're up there playing and people keep hearing that I'm struggling to sing, so they keep buying me shots of whiskey. And my thought is, I'm not driving and I feel like shit, so let's just keep sipping on the whiskey. And so the whiskey didn't mix well with the Benadryl, clearly, and I mean, I did get a little sloppy. I have to admit, I did get a little sloppy, but I think I was sloppy from the get-go, whether I was drunk or not, because I just was so sick and couldn't stop coughing. All I could focus on was how bad my throat hurt and how much I was coughing. So I didn't know for pretty much a year. I didn't know for a year that she was mad at me. She had deleted me from Facebook and from Instagram, and I wondered, I was like, I know I pissed her off. I don't know what it was. And then she just out of the blue texted me and said that I had appeared unprofessional that night and drunk, and she didn't want to be associated with someone who was unprofessional. And that made me cry because I genuinely felt bad about myself. I genuinely felt bad about what I did, and I'm now thinking back on a gig that happened a year ago that I'd completely forgotten about and was embarrassed about it. And I just didn't say anything back for a day because I was really, really upset. I mean, I did say something to her and then it was kind of mean, but anyway. We made up somewhat, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. And it happens. I don't know what else I can really say about that, but one little quick thing. People love to, and this I'm sure happens to so many singers, and you don't gotta stop it, but it's really freaking annoying. When okay, example, I did the cover of All By Myself. I'm not a professional producer, so I do things as best as I can. I'm also not a belter. I really am not a belter. I used to try to be a belter, you know, like where you sing very full voice, very loud, very high pitched. I used to try to do that and it really hurt my voice. I have a soft, quiet voice. I like a lot of mic gain, and I've kind of found the way that I sing that works for me without hurting my voice. And I've just kind of come to accept that I'm not like an opera singer, and I'm not a Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin. Sometimes I might pretend like I'm Tina Turner. But I have soul. I believe that in my voice because my dad loved soul music, but I'm not a belter. So one guy sends me a message through my Instagram and he's like, I'm disappointed in your cover of All By Myself because you could have taken it up a notch and belted. And I replied back, I tried in Celine Dion's key. I tried it up a key and it was too high. It hurt my throat, and no, I couldn't do it. So I thought instead of sounding like a dying animal, it would be best if I lower the key. And what I did was I made the first key Eric Carmen's original key, and I made the second key Celine Dion's first key on it because it modulates. So yeah, it was like Eric Carmen higher, Celine Dion lower, poof. I just formed them together. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions about my music, but just saying, he told me he knows that I could do that note, and I'm saying I know that I didn't want to do that note because I didn't want to fuck up my throat. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Most recently, and I mean a lot of times in the past, I have had a lot of people give me advice on getting over my exes and to stop making jokes about them online, that it's bringing me down and all this. I get that. I get it. I try. Honestly, I've been getting better about it. But then here comes this quarantine. And I am by myself most of the time or with my mom. Mom's sick of hearing about all of this. I have really no one to talk to when I'm feeling down about it because she just says, no, we're not talking about it. So sometimes when I get lonely and I'm not out doing things constantly, I think too much about that sort of thing, and I have posted a couple things about it, and I shouldn't have. I know I shouldn't have. I get it. I get your opinions. I get your criticism. I do. It's just some impulse in me that sometimes I need somebody to tell me that he was wrong and I was right, just because sometimes I start to believe, especially in a situation like this where I'm having to file for unemployment and I'm not making a ton of money right now, like barely making anything, that I look back on what he said about me I have this hair clip in my I'm supposed to have a real job, you know, and that I can't do music without having a real job. And that it started to kind of creep back into my head, and it was just like rolling around up there. And I didn't know what to think or what to say, and I couldn't talk to Mom about it, and I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it. So I just kind of went online and said something. I've said a couple things about it, and I don't know why. I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to remembering things. It's just part that I have a good memory, and then also part that I'm a little bit of a crazy person. But yeah, I don't know. If you're wondering why I haven't answered yet, I haven't answered yet as of me filming this video. I haven't answered a lot of people that have said that. It's because I understand what you're saying. I've heard it a million times, and I'm trying. I'm trying to just be myself and push myself forward, but being in a situation like this with the quarantine going on and being stuck at home, it just gives me way more time to think about it and think about all the things that I've been through the last few years. Sometimes I even cry about my dad, and that was 12 years ago, and I don't know, it's been a lot. So this has been me talking and reacting to rude comments and criticism during the quarantine. So I wanted to remind y'all that if you would like to donate right now, I have many different ways you can do that. And if you donate, you will get your name on a list to receive some demos that I'm gonna record of songs that haven't been put out there before or recorded before, and I'm gonna send them to everybody who donates during the quarantine, and of course all my Patreons as well. The best way that you can support me right now would be through my Patreon. It's patreon.com/LindsayBHarper. I'll put the link in the description of this video. That's gonna be the best way to donate. You can do it by month. $5 a month would help. You're gonna get your name in my video and all that good stuff. If you just want to tip in another way and you don't want to subscribe to help out my channel, then you can do that through Venmo, PayPal, CashApp, and GoFundMe. I have a GoFundMe right now too. I've opened up all the options, whichever way that you would like to donate if you want to. It's open, it's greatly appreciated, but you do not have to. I'm not gonna knock down your door telling you that you have to donate something, because I know times are really hard right now. But thank you to everybody that has been a viewer and a supporter that doesn't get mad at me over everything that I say. A lot of y'all are very supportive and are able to constructively direct me, and then some people just are straight out of the box and they want to tell you how it is and how they feel, even if it hurts your feelings. So I realize I don't get a choice on how other people are going to react to me. But if anything, listen to this video and understand that there are certain things that trigger me and that I don't like to hear. Just so you know that if you want to comment and you want to do it in a way that isn't going to make me like feel bad about myself, then you can. That doesn't mean you don't have to, that you can't criticize. There's just some things that don't really matter and that we shouldn't talk about. But anyway, I'm gonna hang this video up, I'm gonna edit it, and I'm gonna work on editing all of my other stuff right now so that I can have more content for y'all, because I know I've been slacking. Stay safe, stay healthy, everybody. I'll put my links at the end of this video and in the description below, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.